It's the full moon in Leo, the first one in 2024, and it is one of the best full moons I have seen in a long time. Hi, I'm Nikki from Illuminated Movement Astrology, here to break down this awesome full moon and talk to you about not only this moon, but how it fits into the bigger picture. So let's dive in. All right. So, as I talked about, this is a full moon in Leo. And for all my people who are newer to astrology and still learning, the full moon occurs when the sun, right here at 5 degrees Aquarius, is in opposition to the moon. So that would be at 5 degrees Leo. So that's how we know it's a full moon. And what's so exciting, what's got me all up about this full moon is a couple of things. One, Pluto is in Aquarius. So I did a whole video on the full moon in Aquarius, which I'll link below if y'all want to check that out and get a better idea of what this energy is and why I might be excited about it. Because we haven't had a full moon in Leo with Pluto in Aquarius yet. So this is like groundbreaking. It's new energy. It's exciting. If you remember, Pluto in Aquarius happened for a few months during 2023. However, it didn't go into Aquarius until March. And so we didn't get to have the full moon in Leo while Pluto was in Aquarius. Pluto was still in Capricorn. It's kind of doing its magic at the end of Capricorn. So now we've got Pluto here, we've got the sun here, we've got the moon in Leo. And wow, all of this is in a beautiful square to our friend Jupiter, who's no longer retrograde. Jupiter is direct at 6 degrees of Taurus. So there's a couple of really important things here that I want to touch on, particularly about Jupiter, about Uranus, which is the planet that is in charge of this new moon, and about this moon in Leo. So, first of all, if you remember back to last summer, we had Venus transiting through the sign of Leo, and she did a retrograde period in Leo. So she moved into Leo, where this full moon is on, I think it was June the 10th of last year. So this full moon is kind of pulling back some of that energy from last summer. What did we learn? What are we coming to more understanding about? Because full moons, yes, they're a culmination in some way, but really, if you think about the experience of a full moon, what's it like when you go outside, provided it's a clear sky, right? You can see everything. It's illuminated, right? So at the full moon, it's a time period where we can see more clearly. We can see the things that began at the new moon or began at another period of time, which one of them had to do with this 5 degrees Leo and that Venus transit through there. Why is that a big deal? Well, Venus is in charge of the south node, right? The south node that's sitting in Libra, helping us to let go of and to examine patterns where maybe we're in relationship situations, relationships to most likely people, but it could be contracts, it could be some other things as well that are not person oriented, but most likely it's in our relationships where we weren't valuing ourselves or where our values may have changed. Because that happens as we go through life. It doesn't necessarily mean that the people that we've chosen to partner with, that there's anything wrong with them or bad. It's just that we're no longer the same, right? Maybe our tastes have changed. Maybe our preferences have changed and we're no longer compatible. And so when we're looking at the South Node and we're talking about letting go of patterns, again, it doesn't mean it's because the patterns are bad in a negative way, in the way that maybe they're causing harm, although that's possible. It could just be that it's worn out and it's time to move on. And so that's what the South Node helps us to recognize, is so that we can continue our personal journey of growth in this lifetime. Because we're not growing, we're stagnating. And stagnation is no bueno. We do not want that. So that's an important key piece here, is looking back to last summer and like, how have your tastes changed? What are you attracted to now? What do you want to pull into your life? Whether those are things or concepts or jobs or relationships. What do you want to do now? How does this reflect to you now? What can you see now that this full moon is here? Now that it's lit up, right? All right, so the second piece here that I want to talk about is our friend Jupiter. Now, if you remember again back to 2023, we had a lunar eclipse in the sign of Taurus, and it just so happens to be right near where Jupiter is now. Okay, so this moon pointing to, again, Venus from that Leo cycle last year, and also this Jupiter. What do we see with Jupiter now? What have we been learning as Jupiter has been going through Taurus, right? And last year and part of the year before, we had the nodes, which were also in Taurus, helping us to shape and change and refine and grow through our value, our self-worth, our talents and our capacities and the things that we have that are worth our time, right? The things that we can share, the things that we can build on, because remember, Taurus is a builder energy. It wants to make things, especially things that last in some way. And so Jupiter here, shining a light on that, really helping us to see what are our beliefs now? Because Jupiter has to do with beliefs, amongst other things. What do we believe now from all of what we've gone through? How has that changed? What light do you see shining on your self-worth or the things that you choose to give your time to? Have you recognized that maybe you had a lot more talents that maybe you forgot about or didn't even realize were important or other people would see as useful or valuable? What has come up now? Check in with that with this full moon and make full use of it because it's a really great time to do that. The other piece here, Jupiter, co-present with our friend Uranus, because yes, Uranus is our friend. All the planets are your friends. Uranus has been co-present with Jupiter the whole time Jupiter has been in Taurus. Okay. We're not done with Uranus and Taurus yet. We do have a couple more years of that. So Uranus wanting us to innovate, wanting us to break free of old patterns, wanting to liberate us from the things that are outworn that have to do with Taurus, our money, our earning potential. Again, what we find valuable, our food systems, where we're going to give our time, our attention, our resources. What are we going to do there? And to really fully understand the magic that Uranus is doing here, we have to be willing to change. We have to be willing to look at things that have become stagnant. We have to be willing to look at things that we thought we could count on and realize they might not always be there. Now, Taurus is not a sign that likes that conversation. If you know any Taurians, or maybe it's you, they're really into things that bring security because that's one of Taurus's primary energies that it's working on is stability and security through material things and through value. So there may have been a lot of ups and downs there for you. I'm willing to bet. But can you look at things differently? Can you realize that who you are at your core is the most important thing? Do you now feel like you can rely on yourself in ways that maybe you had never considered before? Right? When we're put through challenges, when we're put through obstacles and adversity, we find out a lot about ourselves. And it may not be the most wanted energy for some of us, but it's a really, really important one. So Uranus there, the big deal here is that Uranus is just about completely slowed down because it's going to move out of retrograde. No more Uranus retrograde for a while. And that's going to be happening tomorrow. So it's a little under, like a full day after this full moon. Uranus is going to go direct. So all of this time that Uranus has been having us break free and liberate and do things and go back. Remember, retrogrades give us a second chance to do things, to do them better, to make other choices. We get to fully go for it now. So it's almost like this new moon with this Pluto in the new energy in the sign of Aquarius being disposited by this beautiful Uranus about to move forward. It's like, let's break free already, right? Let's go. Let's use that Leo moon and roar, right? Say who we are, stand up, be authentic. All that time with Pluto and Capricorn hopefully taught us to stand on our own 2 feet, hopefully gave us a time of self-reflection to realize our own agency, what matters to us, what we're going to put up with, what we're not going to put up with, how we can persevere, right? All of those things come from the winter seasons, these Capricorn type seasons where we realize what we're made of, right? Where we realize we can keep going, where we get some grit. And we've been needed to get some grit because even though Pluto is in Aquarius, there's still some challenges there. And again, I've talked about this in my video. I'm sure I'll do more, but in the video that I posted on Pluto and Aquarius, there's some shadow energy that Pluto is going to be bringing to our attention because that is part of Pluto's job. Pluto ultimately is about empowerment, but first it's going to show you where you're disempowered. Okay. Pluto is that like radically honest friend that you have that just says the thing that you don't want to hear, but you need to hear. Okay. So wherever Pluto is shining a light, that's what we want to pay attention to. And in the sign of Aquarius, it can bring up hive mind. It can bring up loss of sense of self, right? It can bring up having to go along with the group. And that's not great on a lot of levels. We really want to be careful of that energy, right? And we don't want to go overboard either and overcorrect through Leo, especially with Jupiter here, because Jupiter likes, right, to do more. Jupiter can be excessive, especially when we're talking about full moons. It can be maybe too much drama or too much needing to fit in or too much needing to rebel. So always take a little, moment there. But in essence, if we're overcorrecting, right, that Aquarian function, we're going to get too much Leo energy. And then it's kind of like, I need everyone to clap for me and I need everyone to validate me and I need everyone to kind of, in a sense, like, let me know that I'm the best. And if you're looking to get any of that kind of feedback and energy outside of yourself, it's going to be problematic. So the goal is to find it from within, to share from within, wherever Leo is on your chart, because we all have Leo, is to shine our own individual light, to find our own individual sense of self and pride and creative actualization. It's a really big deal here. So we have this great energy to be able to do all of those things. I'm really happy to see this energy. I really feel like this full moon just accentuates to me this, like, it's time to live your life to the fullest. Right? It's time to do those things. We have really gone through so much restriction for the last few years, and it hasn't been pleasant for everyone, although I know some people really enjoyed it. If you use the time of Pluto and Capricorn to do self-reflection, to go through that winter, to come out on this other side, you're going to be in a much better position going forward for all the energies that are coming up, for all this accelerated change that's coming up. And for those of you that are really embracing this, you know what I mean, and you can feel it. You can feel the energetic shift, right? So we really need to stand in ourselves. We have to live our own lives on our own terms and understand that when we do that, that's how we connect to the whole. We are a unique and special puzzle piece that fits into the great cosmic puzzle. We're the only one that can do that. And so when we step into those things, when we live from the heart, right? The heart mind. And I've talked about this too. Leo is the heart, right? Aquarius is mind. When we get those two things in coherence, heart brain coherence, really amazing things happen in our lives. It changes us physiologically, it changes our biology. And if we can really start to understand and harness this, it's going to change our lives and accelerate us and just move us into places that we never could have dreamed or imagined were possible. Right? But we have to practice it. We have to take action on it. We have to own it. This is your life. Live it on your terms. That's another thing that Pluto and Capricorn showed us is, do you want to live life on your own terms, or are you just going to let everyone else tell you what to do? You're going to let other people dictate your life. I hope not. I hope you have the courage to take some risks and stand up and do the things that you want to do. Because, yeah, Leo needs to take risks. We don't take any risks in life, we're probably not going to get as far as we would like. Probably not going to get very far at all, right? Take some risks. You've learned, you've been living through Uranus in Taurus, shaking the foundation. We've been living through Pluto in Capricorn, shaking the foundation. We're going to be okay, right? So hopefully you learned that you can stand on your own 2 feet and you can be yourself. Live your life on your terms. Go forward. That's when we give. That's when we share. That's when we help the collective and we change everything for the better for everyone. So, on this very, very amazing full moon, I hope that was helpful. I hope it helped you see the bigger picture. Let me know in the comments. Again, I will link the video to Pluto and Aquarius. And I also did a video on what to do if you're afraid of upcoming transits, because that's a big topic, right? All of us gets anxiety at some point about, oh no, I've got something coming up and I don't know what to do. So I'll link those below. Check them out. Have a fabulous full moon in Leo, and we'll chat soon. Mwah. Take care.